The very first thing that strikes you, often before a single word is even spoken, is the weight of their gaze. An INFJ does not simply look at you, they look into you. In a society where eye contact has become a fleeting, almost uncomfortable formality where people are constantly distracted by glowing screens or the anxiety of the next task, the eye contact of an INFJ feels like a sudden, grounding anchor. It is not an aggressive or dominating stare. Rather, it is an incredibly intense, hyper-focused gaze brimming with pure curiosity, deep empathy, and an almost unsettling level of understanding. When an INFJ locks eyes with you, it is as if the rest of the world melts away, leaving only a sacred space where your true self is finally allowed to breathe. They use this silent language to communicate that they are fully, unequivocally present in this fleeting moment of time. They are not merely waiting for their turn to speak, nor are they scanning the room for a better opportunity. They are reading the subtle shifts in your energy, the micro-expressions of joy or sorrow playing across your face, and the unspoken emotions you have kept buried deep inside. For someone accustomed to feeling invisible in the modern rush, being on the receiving end of this profound attention is nothing short of a healing revelation. Closely intertwined with their intense gaze is the second undeniable trait people notice, a deeply paradoxical energy that is simultaneously incredibly calm and fiercely intense. When an INFJ walks into a room, they do not disturb the air. Instead, they seem to absorb the chaotic vibrations around them, neutralizing the frantic pace of modern life. They exude a quiet, humble confidence that never seeks to dominate, yet carries an undeniable magnetic gravity. Imagine stepping out of the deafening, neon-lit streets of a sprawling metropolis and walking into a serene, centuries-old traditional Hanak courtyard. The air suddenly feels cooler, the noise fades into a gentle hum, and a profound sense of grounding washes over you. That is the exact feeling of standing next to an INFJ. They carry the immense, resilient spirit of a survivor who has weathered countless internal storms, resulting in a tranquil exterior that hides a blazing, passionate fire within. This energy is incredibly disarming, leaving those around them feeling instantly secure, yet deeply intrigued by the vast, unexplored depths that lie just beneath the surface. In a crowded room full of desperate chatter and performative laughter, an INFJ will often be found standing quietly at the periphery, observing the beautiful, tragic theater of human interaction. They do not need to demand attention, because they effortlessly attract it. Drawn by their warm yet slightly mysterious aura, people naturally gravitate toward them like weary travelers seeking a quiet hearth in the middle of a blizzard. It is a presence that whispers of profound resilience and quiet endurance. You feel immediately at ease, comforted by their gentle composure, yet you are acutely aware that there is a brilliant, highly active mind analyzing every nuance of the environment. This unique balancing effect makes them unforgettable. They are the calm within the storm, the steady heartbeat in a world prone to panic. Many people cannot quite put their finger on why they feel so deeply relaxed around an INFJ, but they intuitively recognize that they are in the presence of someone who possesses an ancient, almost ancestral wisdom, a quiet strength that offers refuge to anyone lucky enough to be pulled into their gentle orbit. The third profound characteristic that leaves a lasting mark on anyone who meets an INFJ is their exceptional, almost therapeutic listening skills. We live in an era where listening has tragically devolved into merely waiting for one's turn to speak. But for the INFJ, listening is an act of deep reverence. When you pour your heart out to them, they do not interrupt, they do not rush you, and they certainly do not offer unsolicited, superficial advice. Instead, they engage in a pure exchange of emotional energy, embodying the beautiful cultural concept of Jong, that deep, invisible bond of affection and compassion that connects human souls beyond words. They listen with their entire being, absorbing not just the syllables you utter, but the heavy pauses between them, the subtle tremble in your voice, and the unspoken fears hiding in your laughter. They ask deep, beautifully crafted questions that guide you safely into the labyrinth of your own mind, helping you uncover truths you didn't even know you were carrying. It is a profoundly validating experience, one that makes you realize how rarely we are actually heard in our daily lives. What makes an INFJ's listening so miraculous is their memory for the delicate details of your vulnerability. You might casually mention a quiet sorrow, a lingering doubt about your career, or a complicated relationship with a family member in passing. Weeks or even months later, the INFJ will look at you with that same warm intensity and ask how your heart has been handling that specific burden. They connect dots that others completely ignore, validating your pain and celebrating your silent victories. Friends and colleagues often marvel at this, stating that having a simple cup of coffee with an INFJ feels more healing than a formal therapy session. It is because they genuinely, fiercely care. They honor the weight of your experiences, treating your memories as sacred artifacts. In a society that constantly tells us to move on, to heal quickly, and to hide our scars, the INFJ provides a beautiful, sacred space where your emotional timeline is respected, and your true voice is given the ultimate gift of undivided, unconditional attention. The fourth, and perhaps most astonishing trait of an INFJ is their almost supernatural ability to see completely through people. From a young age, we are taught to construct elaborate masks to survive in the competitive, judgment-heavy arenas of modern society. We curate flawless personas for our workplaces, put on brave faces for our families, and hide our exhaustion behind polite smiles. But none of these armors work against an INFJ. Possessing a deeply ingrained, highly evolved sense of nunchi, the intuitive art of gauging emotional atmospheres, they effortlessly bypass the facade to see the frightened, vulnerable child hiding within the stressed adult. Driven by their dominant function of introverted intuition and their deeply empathetic, extroverted feeling, they notice the slight rigidness in your posture, the fake pitch in your laugh, and the heavy sorrow swimming beneath your bright smile. They trust their gut feelings implicitly, and those instincts are almost terrifyingly accurate. When an INFJ gently asks, "Are you truly okay?" it can feel profoundly unsettling, yet overwhelmingly comforting, as the walls you spent years building gently crumble before their empathetic gaze. This profound intuition naturally leads to the fifth trait that sets them apart, their absolute disdain for superficial, small talk, and their relentless craving for deep, soulful conversations. To an INFJ, chatting merely about the weather or the latest trivial gossip feels like starving in front of a banquet. They want to know what keeps you awake at 3 a.m. They want to explore the architecture of your dreams, the shadows of your generational traumas, and the burning questions you have about the purpose of your existence. Because they create an atmosphere of total non-judgment, vulnerability feels completely natural around them. A brief, casual interaction by the water cooler can effortlessly evolve into a life-altering discussion about existential hopes and personal growth, simply because the INFJ asks the exact right questions with absolute sincerity. People often walk away from these conversations feeling a profound sense of catharsis, their minds buzzing with newfound clarity. The INFJ holds up a beautiful, untainted mirror to your soul, allowing you to see your own brilliance and pain with unprecedented compassion. Finally, the sixth element that makes an INFJ truly unforgettable is their enduring, captivating, mysterious aura. Despite their incredible ability to open up the hearts of everyone they meet, the INFJ remains a beautifully guarded fortress. They give so much of their emotional energy to healing the world, yet they reveal their own depths very slowly, layer by cautious layer. Like the breathtaking, impenetrable morning mist rolling over the majestic peaks of a sacred mountain, they are a phenomenon that is deeply felt but never entirely grasped. They retreat into their necessary solitude to recharge, leaving friends and admirers endlessly fascinated, wondering what profound thoughts occupy their quiet minds. You can know an INFJ for decades, love them deeply, and still feel that there are vast, uncharted oceans within them that you have yet to explore. This paradox of being entirely emotionally available to others while remaining a beautiful enigma makes them the absolute mystics of our time. They do not leave a mark through loudness or flashiness, but through the profound, quiet grace of their unwavering presence. For the INFJs listening to this, know that your quiet strength, your boundless empathy, and your deep, mysterious essence are not just rare traits. They are the very superpowers that bring brilliant, healing light to a desperately hurting world. May you always cherish your beautiful soul.